Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the week number 14 of Britball with the Breens. Again, going to go through all the fixtures this weekend, talk through our play of the week and our game of the week. First of all, a big apology to the Darlington team because we missed a fixture last week. On the other side, your fixtures have changed so much that we'll be forgiven. Other than that, we do have a guest in tonight. Now, you know how bad I am with pronunciations, and I haven't spoke to Simon yet, so I hope I say his last name right. But tonight we have another guest. So our guest tonight is the head coach of the Essex Spartans, and his name is Simon Mackerill. So, and he's
he's just fallen off.
He's literally just weird. What's he saying here? Oh, he's lost his sound. He'll be with us in a second, folks. So,
that was perfect timing, right as you were hard him in, boom, disappeared. Simon.
He's here now. See if he can get his sound here.
Yeah, sorry. I just lost
Hello,
sound.
Simon. How are you doing?
That was perfect timing, Simon. I love that. Right already, Arjun. Bye.
Hello.
Am I saying, first of all, am I saying your last name right?
Go on then.
Mackerel.
Near enough.
Right. It's just like, obviously, a Scottish tinge with mackerel up here is like, obviously, with the fish, and that is like, I didn't want to make sure that it's not like Mackerill or whatever like that, because I'm really hopeless at pronouncing names.
So how you just said it is exactly how it's meant to be said, Mackerill. So.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll remember that. So how are things, Simon? Obviously, this is your last game this weekend, is it, for the season?
Yeah. I mean, things are all right. So obviously we were meant to have a game last week, which didn't happen. But so our last one this week, big game. We need to sort of win this, beat the Sabres to win the division. So it's quite a big one.
Yeah, I think for us, it's obviously we've been watching all season on all the different teams and how they've adjusted. For you guys, you were kind of on the same same area as Bournemouth. You'd been promoted in 2019, and then obviously you're now in a division that isn't really Division 1, but it's kind of a mix. And how have you found that this year?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't part of the promotion team, so I came into it at the beginning of the year when COVID hit, and then obviously everyone was a bit upset because they wanted to play Div 1 opponents, and that's what we were looking at. So the way we looked at it is, because I've only just come on board, we said, look, this is how it'll work. I've got a system I want to put into play, and this is the perfect year for us to get that system up and running. And then next year when we're Div 1, everyone should know what they're doing, and we shouldn't have any sort of issues. So that's how we've managed it. So.
Yeah, the thing is that's a good way to think about it. This year is very much should be seen as a chance to develop as many players as you can in your team, and really push towards having them all ready for next year. So that's a great thing. How's recruitment been? Has recruitment been okay? Have you managed to take in players this year?
Yeah, I mean, so recruitment's been quite all right, because considering we've not been able to do a lot of road shows and stuff like that. We've been quite lucky with people coming down and just giving it a whirl and seeing us online and the sort of social media groups. So we've done all right. We've recruited quite a few good players, rookies and veteran players that have come across from elsewhere. So we've done all right, really.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. I think just from an outsider's point of view, having watched your results this season, your team definitely seems to have got stronger as the seasons went on. Do you think that's an adjustment to the systems you're putting in and them getting used to it?
Yeah, so obviously I think the Thunderbolts were our first opponents, and it was a good place for us to blow off any cobwebs. And then obviously we had the Sabres second game, which was right close to the wire, which it gave us a good chance to see a stronger opponent, what worked, what didn't work, and then we've really stuck to the guns of what we wanted to sort of really push. So yeah, it's done quite well.
Yeah, you certainly seem to have. We've had a few plays in sent in from your running back, so it certainly looks like you've got a decent running back. That's for certain. Which is obviously a great thing. If he has a good offensive line, then it's a good place to start.
Yeah, so I'm quite lucky. We've got a good set of running backs. I mean, we've got good receivers, good running backs, and our O-line are quite good as well. And with the new system that we've put into place, they've all gelled. They've all really took to it, especially the running backs. They really like what we've put into place. They're really bought into it. So that helped. And we've got quite a lot of talent at the running back position as well. So.
That's always good. Well, just to clear, I'm guessing Bradley's involved with your team, is he?
Yeah, he's my O-line coach. So.
He's your O-line coach, evening Bradley. Craig's part of our team. Hey, Craig.
Right,
He said evening coach, and then James says, turn a light on, Simon.
I can move over to light.
Yeah, we don't. Honestly, we don't. Chris was last week.
I genuinely thought you were in a sort of like what I was last week, sort of outside in the darkness. But
Chris was a floating head at one point last week.
Yeah, it's the kids.
Yeah, you're fine. Honestly, you're fine there. It doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Chris got so dark last week when he was sitting outside. You could just see his head floating about. Nick has been a pain in my backside for years. So yeah, I think that's good. I think for, as I said, we obviously have been watching all the divisions as they go through, and really, it'll be nice to see how you guys transition to Division 1. Did you know what I know you took over just in 2020. Did you know what your division was going to be before this kind of came up?
Not this current division we're in, no. So we had no sort of idea. So I was prepping and planning for Division 1 football if it happened. And then, we just got told the opponents we were going to be playing. And we just decided to run with it. So,
Chris, do you know who Essex were supposed to have in 2020 in their Division 1?
I'm not 100% sure who was meant to be in Division 1. No, not off the top of my head. I would have to look it up. I'm trying to think what side of the country you're on, but I can't.
I think Sussex were the only ones that I think we were meant to play. Definitely.
Someone's just told us that. And that is a tough division right there. Woo!
Yeah. That's a cracking division.
That's where you kind of want to sharpen your teeth there, isn't it?
Yeah.
If that's what your division is going to be next year, that's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, be good. Some good games there.
Yeah. I think Sean, again, is this Benny or Beanie? I don't know. Is with the Spartans. It's played with us in 2019. Oh, right, did he? See, we don't even know that. So he must have played with Clyde Valley in 2019. So he's obviously with your team now, and someone's recognised that. That's a Division 1 SFC 1 East. Okay, that's what you guys are going into. So it's a pretty tough division. Obviously, with the way things are just now, we've seen the Cheetahs and the Stallions and all that, the Cats. They've all had really good seasons. So if that is the way it's going to be next year, that's going to be a great division.
Yes.
So it's good that you've had this year to kind of embed your system, so that when it comes to next year, then you'll be ready to roll against some of these teams.
Yeah, I've seen some of the results they've had this year. There's been some really good games. So.
Yeah, if you're picking a group of teams to play to try and bed in a new system, they would probably fairly near the bottom of your list. So probably a benefit in many ways to get it done this year.
So we never got a chance to speak to you before the stream, Simon, but I don't know how much you know about our show and everything, but we'll jump into some other stuff just now. So I'm going to just share my screen here. There we go. And it is the best viewing we've seen in a long time. There's nobody in Scumbag Move. Okay, so nobody, as far as we're aware, till now, unless something changes in the next couple hours, which I'd be very surprised about, no teams have withdrawn from their fixtures tomorrow, which is absolutely brilliant because there was quite a lot last week. So we've obviously only got a couple of weeks left, and really this is the last week with a lot of fixtures. They really start to go down a little bit after this, but it's great to see that absolutely zero people are on our scumbag list or our broken safety COVID list this week.
Yeah.
We don't like seeing that anyway. So
it's maybe been one of only 2 or 3 weeks the whole season that two have been empty. So it's It's nice to end on a high note, really, with us winding down towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it certainly is that. So the next thing we go on to, Simon, is we're going to go into play of the week. Now, what we do is we haven't had anybody send in ones this week. So, but we have got the Hertfordshire Cheetahs versus Wembley Stallions highlights.
I would like to point out with this, though, however, although they weren't sent in, Craig Barnes from Hertfordshire did offer, if I wanted any of the clips, he would send me them individually, but we're kind of waiting to see if we were getting anything in from anywhere else. So Craig did offer to send them in, so we'll give him that. He did actually get in touch.
Yeah, Grant. To be fair, Grant Lawless sent me one like not long ago. I will show it, but it won't be part of our 3 plays purely because the quality is pants. But there is something I will show you in that play that is worth sharing with the Britball community. So I will go into this. So our plays of the week nominations this week, Simon. So we'll show them all, and then we will each pick which one we like, and whoever gets the most votes wins. Our dad, before I go into this, our dad's saying that he loves your Spartan shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Nice colours. So play number 1 in the Cheetahs game is literally play number 1. Now, we're used to seeing a certain member of the Wembley Stallions send us in special teams returns, but this time the Cheetahs seem to have got a little bit of revenge. So this is play number 1.
I know I'll have to ask Sam where he was on this week. You know, he's been outdone by the returner from Hertfordshire.
Oh,
so it's a great play. Even a stiff arm runs it back.
Just enough speed to make it into the end zone.
Yeah. So again here, you'll see here that the kickoff is a little bit short, but it's still a decent kickoff hang time wise. Returner collects it, reads the field. At this point here, I mean, I don't know how he gets through this. This guy seals a really good block and basically springs him through that. Well, I say a really good block. He falls on his bum, but he makes the block, so it makes no difference. Which kind of springs him here. It's then open field. Outruns that first guy, and then obviously finishing touches here. Nice stiff arm, runs it all the way to the end zone. Just makes it with a nice forward flip. So that's play number 1. Play number 2 from this game is this one. So let's take a look here. High snap. Throw. Oh, and great hands from the DB here. Tries to run it back. Even tries to hurdle a guy. So I will say a couple of things about this one, if I can get it back to the right point. So as I said, high snap here. QB does well to bring it down. But at this point here, I'm not sure what he's seeing. This guy's over the top. This guy probably isn't getting across to it. But at this point here, really, he's out of position. If this ball is thrown better, that's a touchdown. But
yeah,
the athletic play to then snatch this out of the air is really good. And then only thing I'll say here is this guy, I thought he was just going to seal this guy in, but he just runs straight past him, which I think slows him down a little bit. But he manages to gain some yards here and then is eventually tackled.
The only thing I will say in defense of our guy being slightly out of position is, depending on whether you ask an offensive coach or a defensive coach, I think there may have been a pick or rub play in there, and that might not have been his man.
Yeah.
I think, and I could be giving him more credit than he's due here, but I feel like his assignment may well not have been the man there, and he's ended up picking him up.
Yeah,
recognizing the pick/rub.
Nah, I don't think so. Watch this. Look, he never makes any attempt to follow him. This has to be zone.
Yeah, as I say, I might have been giving him a bit more credit, but there's definitely a pick/rub in there.
There's definitely a pick play here, but this guy doesn't even remotely try and follow him, so this must be zone. there. But yeah, it's definitely a pick play. I mean, this is a block. Like right there, that's a block. So yeah, I mean, it's one of these things, but again, it's a really athletic catch in the end, and a good play. The third one from this game is this one. I've left the sound on. Okay, this one is over here. We're looking at this matchup here. So QB takes a snap, deep throw into the corner of the end zone. Guy goes up, gets it, gets his feet in. Now, I'd love to say, like, Chris will be able to correct me here, because I said to him, surely that's just a throw up and hope. And you know this, it's just a back, it's just an end zone fade, is it, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is, though, is from a quarterback's point of view, it is a bit of a throw up and hope. I'd like to see the ball carry a little bit further. He left his receiver with a bit more work to do than he perhaps needed. But I think that's what makes it a better play for me as well, is the fact that has to be near the back line of the end zone there, and he is like he's up, you know,
he's
like
got hops.
That's hops right there. He has got up for that ball, so you know I love the play from the receiver.
Yeah, it is a good play. Great catch, great hands, and he's up in there. I don't know if that's Rowan. I think Rowan had a few touchdowns in this game, but I can't tell what number it is from here. But it might be. Oh no, he's here. It's Rowan here, is it? So I'm not sure what this guy's name is, but I'm sure someone will post in the chat below. So give you a vote each. Simon, you're the guest, so I'll let you go first. So is it opening kickoff return to the house, athletic interception, or tight corner of the end zone jump ball?
I'm going to go with the kick return. Who doesn't love a special teams that's run back? Let's be honest. We had that against the Sabres in our last game, opening kickoff, and it just sets the whole tone for the rest of the game. So I'm going to go with the kick return.
Where's the video, Simon?
That got sent to us. In fairness, it did get sent to us, but when I opened it up, it was like in 2 pixels. Like it was really difficult to actually see on the phone. It did get sent to us. I will defend on that one. It definitely did. When I was watching it, I was like,
I could have showed it afterwards, but that's good news. Like opening kickoff, really. Devin Hester, Chicago Bears, one of the best opening kickoff returns you'll ever see.
Not one of. He's just one of.
Yeah, Chris, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, it's important to point out. Like we've spoke highly of these 2 teams in this division the whole season, and I genuinely, and Sean will probably quote me on this, I tried to pick about 10 plays from this game. It was such a high quality match all the way through. I love the effort and the high point and the catch. I think like he's been made to work hard for it on a already challenging ball. The interception, it's amazing athletic play after being out of position, as we said. But yeah, I'm the same. I love a special teams play, and you know, like he breaks 1 tackle, he breaks 2 tackles, he then stiff arms a guy, which is just flat out disrespectful. And then gets to the end zone, and yeah, I have to go with it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean that's 2 votes there, and I'm going to say the same. I mean, for me, as someone who played DB, he's out of position really to start with, but he makes a really athletic adjustment to the ball. The catch in the back of the end zone, I can't jump anywhere near that high, so that in itself is cracking to watch. But the stiff arm makes it for me. If he gets open field and just runs it back, great. But to get that, the first missed tackle and then to stiff arm and somersault his way into the end zone, it's the kick return for me. So just a matter of interest here, we've got a guy, the guy got the catch is Jordan Legg. Thanks, Craig. And this week's, it's Ben Myers instead of Mike Myers this week, Chris.
I think the thing as well about this kick return is, you know, we talk about like the momentum in games and that, and this was a huge game. This was for the division, right? And what more can you ask of from your kick returner than saying, we need to set the tone here. We need to start this game fast, and then going, okay, coach, I'll give you 6. How do you feel about that? And I think that just adds to it even more.
Yeah, I will add one little thing here as well is that the Cheetahs have some cracking last names in their team. I'm looking at the sideline here. I've got Good Child, classic name, good name. Ireland, good last name. There's one that says Cheetah, but I'm guessing that's just supposed to be the Cheetahs top, because that'd be a horrendous last name.
That'd be brilliant, wouldn't
it? Yeah, but one thing I will show before we go on. So this week's play of the week goes to Ben Myers for his kick return from Hertfordshire. So well done, Ben. Let's see, Steve Cox. As a QB himself, I'm shocked Si went for the special teams play. Yeah, see, but it's not the QB play there. It's the guy in the end zone. So if it was a QB play, it maybe a different story.
Yeah. As a quarterback myself, that has nothing to do with the quarterback. If anything, the quarterback makes his life harder there. So yeah, it's a receiving play, that one.
One thing I will show you is before we go is you'll see why I haven't picked this video. Right. However, I want you to watch the block the running back lays on this guy. Right. This is a touchdown, by the way. It gets a touchdown pass all the way down this left-hand side, but I honestly can't see the ball. So, but watch the block that this running back lays on this guy. Right. I'm just going to zoom it back.
They might rewind it a little bit further.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do. That. I'm trying to get back to the start. Here we go. Right. So watch this matchup here. Boom.
Oh. Oh.
I mean, it is. I don't know if the guy jumps into him, and then
I think he tries to jump at the ball, and the guy just makes the most of it and just hits him right at the hip.
Or if he lifts him up and like throw, I couldn't tell, but Craig Barnes' comment here, that was karate, and I believe that the crack was heard. So again, it's apparently a cracking touchdown, but I honestly can't see. I actually had to say to Grant, was that a touchdown? But it's a worthy block showing. So that's our play of the week. Just go back to this one here. So our first game for everyone that's on the stream, guys. Again, we'll say it this week. If you can share the stream, like it. More people can get seeing it, the better. These guys that have their plays in the week definitely deserve to get them seen. So our game of the week.
As well. Send your plays in. We want the plays.
I know the Aztecs. Someone from the Aztecs actually messaged me saying, "Oh, you should see our film," and then never sent me nothing. I was like, "There's nothing more infuriating. Like, send me the play. Like, I'm looking forward to it."
We want the plays.
I'm quite surprised. So our fullback, Nick, he had a run against the Thunderbolts that he didn't send in. It was a 70-yard fullback. Boom, off he went. And yeah,
we've had a fullback win twice before.
Definitely once. The Solent fullback won. Yeah. And that was a beast of a run as well.
But it's just always
on that
try and get focused. On you go, Chris.
No, on that block as well from the running back, I have to, and I'll try and do it for one of the shows. I need to find John Strang's block against Dundee, and we can show that one week because, I mean, I'd be surprised if the guy got cut so hard. I'll be surprised if he walked properly again. Absolutely amazing. Well, one of the best blocks I've ever seen. I'll have to find that one and we can show it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is actually we're trying to show everyone's plays here. So the more you send in, the more we'll show them. We pick from 3 because we tend to get between 5 and 6. If we got 20 or 30, we'd maybe pick 5. So it's up to you guys to send them in. So this week's game of the week. Now, we hummed and hayed over this, by the way, because I actually was kind of set on picking the Bristol Apache versus the Somerset Wyverns is my game of the week this week. However, I then looked at the score from the first game and realised that this game was way closer, and obviously Norwich were away from home last time. So the score in this game last time was 27-15 to the Colchester Gladiators. But obviously they were at home. So, Chris, I'll let you kick this one off. Who have you got in the game of the week this week?
Yeah, I mean, first things first. The last time we picked the Norwich Devils, they were a 1 point. They had a 1 point loss in the game, the previous meeting, and won 63-0. Do us a favour, don't do that again, right? Because you make us look like even bigger tools than we already are, right? So, saying this was, what did you say, 28-15, the Colchester Gladiators. The Gladiators
27.
were 27. The Norwich Devils have looked really good in their last few games. The Lads definitely gave the Cats one of their better games. I am going to side with the Devils because they're at home. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Gladiators won, but I am going to side with the home team.
Okay. Well, Bradley's... I'm going to let Simon go next, but Bradley's saying Colchester should be the winner. Do you agree with your teammate there, Simon?
I mean, I don't really know much about Colchester anymore. I've played them a few times way back when. Most recently, I've played Norwich, and I know they've got a very good outfit. And they played, I think, the weekend, and they beat their opponents 68 something.
63-0.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Norwich on this one, I think.
Yeah, and I'm going to make it 3-3. Colchester, I think, going into the season, I would have said we're probably the second best team in this division. However, it certainly looks like Norwich at home are a different prospect. And I think that if they have got a bigger squad, as I've seen photos of, and they're at home and they're coming off a 63 win, then I think they're going to have it. One thing I will say to them, though, is these guys probably aren't Ipswich. So although you maybe come off a big win at Ipswich, a really tough defense can really change your game plan. So I think Norwich will sneak this one. I think it might be by 7 to 10 points. Scott reckons by 2 scores. Yes, 2 scores wouldn't be too far off. So that would be our game of the week. 3 picks for the Norwich Devils here. Now, this is a question here. No love for the Giants at Rams. Season enders, both undefeated. You know this. They were on the list. However, I just don't know if Sheffield are going to come out all guns blazing because it's the last game of the season. If they do that, then it might be a different story. I think the Rams have showed improvement this season and look like they can put up points, but that Sheffield defense is a totally different kettle of fish. But I will get onto that once we get onto that game. As next, it's Collegiate Radiator. Not very mobile.
We'll give you a warm reception.
Yeah, so it's certainly going to be an interesting game. We hope, as Chris said, if Norwich go and blow the doors off them again, then we'll certainly be keeping an eye on Norwich next season. Right, we'll go into our games now. Now, Simon, I said, here's the rules here. You do not have to talk about your own team or your own division because we've got our game here and we won't be doing that. So it's totally up to you. If you don't know anything about the teams, it doesn't matter. Just pick someone. I've had a player in that team, so I've picked him. Last week we had a coin flip for every team they didn't know. So it's just whatever your tactics are, it's all good. So our first game is a cracker. Bristol Apache versus Somerset Wyverns. Now, this is for the division. Bristol won this one, I think, 28-10, the first game. So Somerset have got a big deficit to overturn. Bristol are at home, which I think gives them an advantage. I think Somerset have improved as the seasons went on, and they have improved every season since they came into the league. So they'll be looking at this as a chance to go, right, are we going to challenge these guys? Are these guys going to be the best competitor in our division for next season? Can we go after these guys? And I think they will. I think Bristol will just outlast them. I think that Bristol, fourth quarter, if it's a 7-point game, I think Bristol maybe take it. But I believe that the last game was like that. I think it was pretty close, and Bristol kind of just dug in at the end and took off. But this one's at home, so I think they're going to have too much. Simon?
I'm going to go with Bristol because obviously they get a lot of people from the academy up there. They're quite a strong side. So I'm going to go with Bristol on this. I don't really know too much about Somerset, to be fair. So that's just they're
fairly new. They've not been in the league that long, but they've showed improvement every year. They've done fairly well. Bradley's agreeing with you, Bristol. Chris?
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be 3 for 3 with Bristol for me on this one. They had a decent sized win on the road. The Wyverns have got better as the season went on, and I think I kind of alluded to it in one of my What We Learns previously. But I don't really think anyone outside of Somerset would have foreseen them being the second best team in that division, but that is what they've become, and they'll be really pleased with that effort. I think the thing is, the one maybe wild card element about this game is Somerset have nothing to lose. They've got a big deficit to make up if they want to win the division. I don't think they're going to go chasing that. But for Bristol, this is their perfect season. It's the division they're going after. There is that element of, Somerset have got only anything to gain out of this. So I think it'll be a decent game, but I do expect Bristol to win.
Yeah, and that's 3 votes for Bristol there. As I say, I really hope it's a good game. I hope it's not game of the week game now, but I think it will be a fairly good game. Next game is our game, so we'll be saying nothing. Clyde Valley Blackhawks versus Dumfries Hunters. We can say that the last time we played them at the start of the season, Dumfries are extremely physical. I'm sure Chris is sitting watching this again. Their big defensive tackle, if he is.
He is. He must. The thing is, he'll be dead upset tonight going to bed, knowing that tomorrow it won't be me he's getting to hit. So he might even be off his game tomorrow. He might just be too upset about it. So if you are watching, Chris, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But
so they were a very physical team. They've done the number over all the teams in our division so far. This is our first home game at home, so it should be a good game. Our pitch looks fantastic this time. I've seen a picture of it online, and it was rather nice. So that'll be a good one to watch. Simon, would you like to pick a winner?
I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about either. I'm going to go with the team on the left. Whoever's on the left is going to be the winner.
Okay, we'll take that. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Looking forward to another game. The more games we get, the better.
Anything more for the Watford gap, I'm pretty much done.
It's all right. Anything south of so far, and we're the same. It's one of these things. We just got information.
I resent that remark. I do my homework. I know what I can about these teams.
Don't get me wrong. We do our homework, and we have folk contact us, and we reach out, but I can't even pronounce Hertfordshire right half the time, so I'm saying nothing. The next one, again, sorry for missing this one out. This is one of our wide receivers. Hello, Billy. The next one is the Darlington team versus Gateshead Senators. Now, again, sorry to Darlington for missing them out last week. Wasn't deliberate. You weren't appearing on any of our lists. Steve, Simon, sorry. Do you have a preference in this one?
I'm going to go with Gateshead. I know Gateshead have been around quite a long while. I don't know if there's still a few players that I used to know that are up there, but I'm going to go with them just for the fact I used to know a couple of players there. So,
yeah, Chris.
It was only good things, Chris. By the way, I was just apologising for not being your punching bag tomorrow, not being there to be your punching bag. So I just hope you don't lose too much sleep over it tonight. But yeah, these two teams, I was kind of hoping the last time that they played it was a bit closer. Darlington have clearly made some decent steps, but Gateshead have almost become exactly what we expect them to become. They get promoted, they really, really struggle in Division 1, they get relegated, and then all of a sudden they're a powerhouse again out of nowhere when it comes to Division 2 football. And it's kind of what we're seeing again, they're coming up against Division 2 opponents and beating them convincingly. And then, they're coming up against the likes of Northumberland and they're getting blown away. So there is that kind of element to them. I expect them to win tomorrow. It is in Darlington. It's hardly a road trip, but, maybe that keeps the score closer because the Steam are at home.
Yeah, I think the Steam came out the blocks week 1 and thumped DC. I think everyone was like, "Oh," and from what film we watched on them last year, they had a really big offensive line. They had a good run game, but they didn't really stick to it, and it looked like they were doing that, and they kept games close in the first quarter with Northumberland, and then Northumberland just ended up blowing them away. But I think this will be the same. I think in the first game against Gateshead, this was the same. It was close to start with, and then Gateshead dug in and took it in the second half. And I don't see really it going any way different here. I think Darlington will give them a game in the first half, but I think just Gateshead run the same stuff. Honestly, the same stuff all the time. They're just really good at it. So I think that they will overpower them in the second half here, and they'll walk away with a win. Next one, East Kent Mavericks versus Southeast Maidstone Squadron. It gets every time. This team, I've picked twice to win, and they've won twice. And I actually think they're going to win again. East Kent Mavericks have had a hit or miss year. They were on our early season thing for their website and their kit and stuff, and I thought they'd do fairly well, but I think they struggle against the slightly tougher teams. Now, Southeast Squadron have been a surprise to almost everybody. I've seen numerous different places say, "Oh, they'll lose this week," and they've ended up surprising people and winning. It's a road game, but I think Southeast Squadron squeak this one. Simon?
Yeah, so I know both clubs very well. I played for, well, not the Squadron, but the Pumas as well back then. A lot of this is going to come down to if the Squadron can contain the Mavericks' run around the outside. They've got some very good running backs, a very good, very quick slot receiver who's very strong. I know the Squadron have got some very quick linebackers, so that's where it's going to come down to, is if they can contain the outside. I think the Mavericks might just squeak past them, to be fair.
Okay, your coach agrees with you, so it's always a good one. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like the Squadron aren't necessarily a rookie team in the respect we kind of know their previous. They got a decent win a couple of weeks ago, and again, I want to say it was against the Sabres, was it? They beat the Sabres. Yeah, I mean, I think this will be a lot closer than most will expect it to be, but I think the Mavericks will just have enough. But it could be within 3 points.
Yeah, if it is, it might end up with game of the week we should have picked. But it's certainly another interesting one this week. There you go, Luke. Scott. It'll be a defensive battle, but Mavs will probably edges it. A few people have said their offense is pretty decent, so it'll certainly be interesting to see what score that comes out at. Next one's the big one, Simon. Now, as I've said before, and folk have slagged me off for this, but I had no idea what Towie was until last time folk were saying Towie Bowl, and I've looked it up since, so I now know what it is. So, Essex Bowl, Towie Bowl, whatever you want to call it, and this is a rematch. Chris, I'll let you go first on this one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, the first game was obviously a really tight one, and it was the upset win, as it were. I think, we kind of weren't then sure, what we were going to see the second matchup, and it was a comfortable Spartans win. It's difficult saying it's on the road. It's
down the road is what it is.
It's like saying, I'm going on holiday and then going to your next door neighbors. You know what I mean? It's not really a way, is it? I'd expect, that the Spartans have kind of got rolling, and I think they'll win it again.
Simon?
Well, I'm going to choose my own team always, aren't I? So nice, I think we've got this. But yeah, I'm going to stop it there.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. You never want to add fuel to the fire, particularly your QB doesn't want that to happen. But I mean, this is an interesting one purely because the Essex Sabres are, at home, and I think, as I said, your team has improved as the seasons went on. Clearly, then maybe things are in your scheme and stuff are starting to click. So I don't see them overturning this one. They maybe run it a bit closer, but I think that the Spartans will take this one and make it 2 2-for-1 in the series, which is always good, and that'll be you clinched. That'll be you win the division if you do that. So
is it not already clinched?
No, so everything was on the last game, and obviously the refs didn't show, so it didn't get paid. So if we had won the last game, we would have had the berth, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Chris, did you not say that the refs told Bafa they weren't going to show?
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously a lot of media stuff going around about this. Obviously, I don't know what I'm technically allowed to say, but I do know that the Bafra had definitely informed Bafa that there wasn't enough crew, so there wouldn't be a crew covering the game. I believe it was Bafa that never informed the teams that there wouldn't be a crew. But Bafra definitely let them know that there wouldn't be one.
So we'll hope Chris doesn't get into shit for saying that.
I'm probably going to get into trouble for that, but
but I think it's only right they clear it up. Because
I mean, the thing is I know that Bafra took quite a bit of heat on social media for it as well. So in fairness, I'm saying it how it is, and it wasn't their fault.
Yeah. Bradley picked the Spartans. No surprise there, Bradley. I'd be surprised if you didn't. Next game, Nottingham Raiders versus Humber Warhawks. Simon, I'll let you go first on this one. See if you flip a coin or guess one.
Yeah, I'm going with the team on the left.
Oh, I'm not sure about this one.
You've been betrayed.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, Humber have been really good all year. Like what we've seen from them, they did the double over Doncaster as well. Their struggle was the Rams, which is not really a surprise. Nottingham have kind of really struggled this year, so Humber should win it, and I think they win it quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think for us, Humber are another team that over the last couple of years have steadily made that little bit of progress, and they kind of, although there is Lincolnshire nearby, Humber kind of have Hull to themselves, and really can build a team there. There isn't a team that's too close to them that causes them much problems with that. Their social media has been absolutely world class this year, which is obviously great. But I think that they will quite comfortably beat Nottingham. Nottingham have pulled out a few games this year, and really, I don't think they're a match for Humber in this game, even though Humber are away.
I mean, it is no secret, however, that Humber's fortunes and performances have picked up since they changed away from that horrendous green and red kit. It's clearly a factor in this, because since they moved to that grey look, the results have got better, the performances have got better. So, maybe there is stock in the look good, feel good category here, look good, play good.
True. And you did get quite a lot of heat for saying that their previous costume kit was a bit pants.
That was awful.
Jimmy's saying Scunthorpe are the closest team, so it shows you how much I know that area. I worked in Lincolnshire for about 6 months. It's about the most I've spent there and know about it. So
I think it's just across the river.
Yeah, well, Lincolnshire's a massive area.
I know. Huge, I think Scunthorpe's just across a river, but
yeah,
I don't
Humber.
know what
it's called. The Humber separates it. Yeah,
fair enough.
So
that would make sense.
Yeah. The next game, speaking of the Rams and the Giants, yes, this potentially could have been game of the week. I think, for me personally, I honestly think that the Sheffield Giants have to come out with their starters here and play this game as if it's a Prem game, at least until if they can rack up a score. I don't think going forward into next season they can afford to lose this game. Just my personal opinion. I think that they will come out. Their defense is known for being tough in the Premiership. Having played Yorkshire before and seen the plays they run and stuff like this, I think Sheffield might be able to shut that down. However, I think it was 28-6 or something last time when was it 28-6 last time?
It was 20-6 when the game got called.
Yeah, 20-6
time because of lightning.
Yeah, so I think that for me, if Sheffield show up full-blooded, then I think they'll win this one comfortably. if they take their foot off the gas and don't prepare for this in the right way, then Jason and the Yorkshire Rams, I would almost guarantee you, have been waiting for this game all year. So they really need to make sure that they're switched on. Simon, I'm going to pick the Giants, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both undefeated, aren't they? Is that right?
Well, it depends who you ask, however, because
obviously Sheffield eked out, didn't they?
Well, the game was in the second half when it was called off with the Lightning. Now, my understanding of it personally is that means that is a full-time score. However, nothing was ever confirmed or posted from the BAFA end, so we don't know. So, yeah, I mean, technically they're both undefeated.
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine at this point. Throw a dart, throw a dartboard to decide that way.
I think Sheffield probably are a little bit too strong. I mean, 20-6 at the half. I'll probably go with Sheffield.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it's a statement game for both teams, isn't it? I mean, the Giants really do have to win this game and win it well. And I think Grant's put a comment in actually that, you know, like it would be really bad for recruitment for them to lose the game. And we know what this season is, and you know, it's not a true reflection of teams as well. But the Giants were put into a division with one Division 1 team, and the rest are Division 2. They need to win those games and win them well, because it is a statement to the rest of the teams around you. I think they will win it. How well? I mean, I don't know. It depends. The Rams are at home now. Again, it's just a quick jaunt down the road, isn't it? It's, you know, it's not a huge distance between the two. But yeah, I mean, the Giants should and probably will win it. It comes down to the first half. I think if the Rams are in this game at halftime, it finishes close. If it's a couple of scores, 3 scores or whatever, by the time sort of the early second half starts, it could end up in a runaway. But I'd like to see it a close game. I've just seen Adam's comment.
Yeah, this one. Well, wait.
No, not that one.
No, you'll get the next one in a minute. However, one thing here, Adam, you are correct, right? But we don't know, and you'll maybe be able to tell us, but Sheffield have not been playing their starters against the weaker opponents. I don't know if the Rams have been doing the same. I'm not saying that they have by any means, but I don't think Sheffield have been the slightest bit interested about thumping Nottingham and all that. However, you've got to remember that they played a close game against Merseyside, so they're obviously still playing to a decent level when they want to really show up. And Grant puts out an excellent point and something I've said here is that the Giants really can't afford to lose this game, because if you're a player, right, and you're coming in, you're picking a team, and you're going to go, right, let's go to the team that's in the Premiership and got beat by a Division 1 team last season, probably aren't going to compete for a Premiership thing, or are we going to go to the up and coming Division 1 team that beat a Premiership team and might compete in Division 1? Now, you know, some people will say, well, I want to play Prem Ball. That's it. But there is a lot of people, I would actually say in Britball, probably the majority of people that would go, oh, Division 1 title chance. Let's go there, you know? So, yeah, I think Grant's right with what he's saying. Chris, before I let you go into that comment, remember playing Sheffield? Bradley, I played Sheffield 2012, I think, played them in the semi-finals. They weren't called the Giants at that time, but yeah, they're really solid team. Chris, do you want to put up this comment?
Yeah, and Adam, you make a perfectly valid point, right? I don't disagree with your point at all. I don't like the idea that a game can finish just after halftime and it counts as a result. I'm merely pointing out that my very limited understanding is that if the game does make it into the second half and the weather causes it to finish early, then the score stands. I could be wrong, and to be honest, as you point out through that comment, I hope I am. But yeah, I do think that's how it works. But we'll probably get confirmation maybe about 6 months after the season's finished.
Yeah, Jimmy's put up saying the Rams have rotated really well. They did against us. It looked like the same against the recent Donny game, and that's good as well.
Comparing the scores as well is, with the new running clock rules that have come in this year, we've had the running clock for a lot of years, but it's changed because of COVID this year, to where the running clock comes in at any point. It used to have to be the second half. Now it comes in at any point when it's more than a 34-point lead. So the difficulty with comparing head-to-head scores when both teams are winning by 50 points is, well, when did one team get to 34 and above? Because that affects the score. If one of the teams is up by 35 points by the first quarter, then there's not going to be a lot of time left for scoring the rest of the points, in the respect that the clock goes a lot quicker.
Unless you're Chester Romans.
Yeah, well, in which case, when you just get every time the ball moves, it's a touchdown for you. But you know what I mean? So these things factor in as well. I think it'll be a good game. Is that the case? See, that's the thing. I wasn't 100% sure of that. That's why I'm not firmly committing all my knowledge of it. But I mean, it would certainly make more sense if that was the case. I mean, it would also make sense if the result just didn't stand, but I'm not sure. And unless somebody can officially confirm, then we'll just assume neither team's lost.
Yeah, I'll give you one thing, no matter what, a lot of eyes will be on this game tomorrow. I think a lot of eyes in both Premiership and Division 1 will be on this game tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying about statement games. We never really covered the fact about why it's a statement game for the Rams. I mean, the Rams went into 2019 and people were talking about them being a potential favourite in Division 1. And they had, by their standards, an underperforming year. Now they've looked really good this season. And now they get a shot at the Premier Division opponent. And they get a chance to send a message to the Division 1 teams. Everyone's talking about, the Leicesters, the Northumberlands, the East Kilbrides from certainly the northern half. But this is a big moment for the Rams. The Rams, again, have nothing to lose. But if they go out there and they, say they beat the Giants, then all of a sudden these teams are looking at the Yorkshire Rams going into 2022 and thinking, right, okay, we have to watch out for them too because they are ready to play. So it is a big game for them as well. Yeah.
Jimmy saying, I almost wish you didn't have a game tomorrow. No, you don't. You want the game. It won't be streamed anyway, so you'll be fine. Was it Rams who refused to travel to Scotland for the conference? Yes, it was. Yeah.
Well, it depends who you ask.
It depends who you ask.
It was the Rams and the Wolverines both refused to travel to Scotland. And my only response to that would be try playing a season for Aberdeen and then come back to me. Every game is far away for Aberdeen.
It is indeed. Right, next game is London Blitz B versus London Hornets. Simon, I'll let you go first on this one.
I'm going to go with the London Blitz B. I mean, partially because it's just the London Blitz. I know they're not the A team, but they're still a strong outfit. Over the last few years, they've got better. When the last time I played them, they've progressed. So yeah, I'll stick with the London Blitz, I think.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, the Blitz B have looked really good this year. It's one of those, and I know obviously having Simon here, it's maybe not the best time to bring it up as well, but I know it's contentious with the Blitz B not going into Division 1 and that, and I'm not getting involved in who should or shouldn't or when or where, but I mean, if you're a Division 2 team, you've got to be terrified of this Blitz B team next year. You have to be looking at that Blitz B team and thinking, I want nothing to do with that, because they have not just went toe-to-toe with Division 1 teams. They've beaten very good Division 1 teams. And, we've had there's been conversations about whether there'll be a realignment or not. Personally, I don't think there can be, but if there is going to be, I'd like to see the Blitz B go into Division 1. I really would. Just because they've already shown they're there. And you'd expect that from a Blitz B team. The Hornets were one of my preseason teams I thought could maybe win the division. And it's been disappointing. It really has from their perspective. But again, we don't know about the element of how much they've struggled, or if it's just a case of guys aren't playing because they didn't see the purpose behind it. But yeah, I think the Blitz B will win here, and I actually think it'll be quite comfortable.
Yeah, I think for me I picked the Blitz B against Hertfordshire a couple of weeks ago like an idiot. I was made to apologise to Mr. Barnes and Russell. So I think they will have too much for the Hornets. The Hornets defense is what worries me, not so much their offense. From a video I've seen, they seem to struggle a little bit against some good teams, but the Blitz B's defense is really good. Obviously, Hertfordshire put up a decent amount of points against them, but they are a good defense, and they've drawn twice against Wembley. Was it twice against Wembley they drew, or just once? No, it was twice, was it? Blitz B.
No, it was the one tie
because
the Stallions tied with the Hornets as well, I believe.
Yeah. So but they've got a good defense. They've just not quite put the points. But if their A team is anything to go by last week from what the game they gave the Warriors, then the Blitz B will be absolutely buzzing this week and probably go out and put up a decent number on London Hornets. A few comments on this one just now. Craig reckons Blitz B a canter. Bradley reckons the Hornets are going to win it. So,
can I just one thing before I get hate mail as well? I was looking at a few teams in the north, and I didn't deliberately leave off Nottingham Caesars. They're obviously up there in that list. Just before, like, Grant sent like a flaming envelope of dog dirt to my doorstep. Don't forget, I was just listing through a couple of teams. The Nottingham Caesars are obviously up there as well.
Speaking of two really good north teams, it is the rematch of the Manchester Titans versus the Merseyside Nighthawks. Now, Manchester Titans won this one 42-10 in the first game. I think Manchester this year are the better team. I think if they come out and play to their best ability, they will comfortably beat Merseyside. However, Merseyside have been on the up. They've put up some decent points. Manchester Titans had 1 week where their defense didn't show up, and then the next week they showed up big time. I think if that's the case and their defense shows up, we know their offense is going to show up. It's at home at the Titans this time. I think this one will be a decent win for Manchester Titans. And to be fair, nothing they do is going to put them above the Blitz now in the power rankings. However, don't let yourself drop down below the Exiles and Tamworth, because I get so much crap from Tamworth but they're not any higher in the power rankings. But quite frankly, they don't have a win to suffice going higher in the power rankings. So you'll stay there as long as you do a number over Merseyside. Simon?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Titans as well. I think they're just going to be too strong for Merseyside.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, we've you kind of really summed it up that the Titans have looked like one of the best teams in the country this year. Again, I kind of alluded to it in what we learned that they'll be disappointed that this wasn't a full competitive season, because they'll have felt like they could win the Premier Division North. Not to say that they don't feel like they can win it next year, but they'll have felt like this was a good year to win it. This was their opportunity. They get the home game against one of the London teams, and hey, you never know, you may be in Britball and anything can happen. So they will be a bit disappointed with that, but they've not played like a team that are disappointed. They've played like a team that are one of the best teams in the country. Their offense is unbelievable, and like sometimes I almost feel like we don't talk about their defense enough because of how good their offense is. But this game was close early doors. I think it was at one point it was not 10-all or something between these two sides, and then Manchester blew the doors off them. I think the Titans are they're gonna have too much. I think they'll win the game. By how much, I'm not sure. I'd like to think Merseyside are maybe sort of a bit better prepared for it this time and make it a closer game, but yeah, the Titans just seem to have too much just now, and I think they should win comfortably.
Yeah, Sean's commented with nothing.
Nothing.
Titans, but a closer one than previous. Titans, the comments. So I think it will certainly be interesting. I know I felt really bad because Manchester are quite open with their information at times and online and stuff like that, and you can see their highlights and everything like that. But I knew that against Lancashire they weren't at full strength, and when you did what we learned, you'd obviously posted up, Chris, and I'd not told you the information, so you'd obviously posted up saying, "Oh, it's a bit closer than it should be." But obviously, that's the reason they never dropped in the power rankings, because I knew something that I knew that they weren't a full good team. I think this is maybe a
You've got a brawl account.
I don't know who it's aimed at, but yeah, I think it is. Next game, Nottingham Caesars versus Northants Knights. Now, Chris, I'll let you go first on this one, since you were just redeeming yourself to Grant.
Yeah, but I think it might be too late. I think the package may have already been dispatched. Yeah, I mean, we've spoke very highly about both of these programs. It's been a good year for both. The Caesars have done a lot of good things. They've bedded in some young players. The Knights have shown that they're not a rookie team. Like, they're not your standard run of the mill first year team that comes in and gets beaten up and down the park every week for a year or two. They are a very strong team. You may have a point. It may well be game of the week, but
no, he meant Merseyside versus Manchester. That was his blank.
Oh,
comment.
Is that what the comment was? Was it? But like again, you could argue there's nothing to lose for the Knights, but I still think the Caesars have too much. They do too much too well, and they should win the game, and I would expect them to. Simon?
Again, I don't really know too much about Northants, and Caesars are a good team, so it's got to be the Caesars for me. So.
Chris, you were right enough. It was the Knights versus Northants that it was supposed to be the game. My bad, Sean. Sorry about that. Well, I know that Nottingham have a massive squad now, a huge squad, in fact. They've been recruiting all season. I would guess that they potentially maybe even get some from the university students that have come over that maybe get to sneak a game in. Now, Northants have been I had a really good season, and they ran Nottingham close in the first game of the year. But I think Nottingham possibly come out in this one and really go for it. And I think they might have too much for Northants this week. It's a good thing for the Knights to go test themselves against Nottingham now, and really see where they're at the end of the season, at their first full season in the league. And really, this Caesars team, if they're building the way that I've heard they are, then they should win this game. 2 scores, I think. 2 scores they'll win at least. Next game, Oxford Saints versus Wembley Stallions. Simon, I'll let you go first in this one.
I'm going to go with the Wembley Stallions. I know a couple of players at the Stallions, and that's pretty much the only reason why.
Yeah, well, you know this. I would normally pick the Wembley Stallions all the time with no hesitation. However, I still will pick the Stallions this week, but it's a wary pick this week. How much are they going to be affected knowing that last week they had the chance to win the division? They've not won the division. This game really doesn't drop them up nor down. Do they come out prepared for this one as they were last week? That has an effect no matter who you are, and really it's up to the coaches at Wembley to make sure that doesn't happen, that these guys come out and go, look, this is the last game of the season, let's end on a high, let's win this game. Oxford, I'd love to see them win, if I'm honest, especially for poor Chris. I'd like to see them win this year. They had moments where they've looked brilliant on the film we've seen, and they've just given the ball away a lot in the red zone. So if Oxford come out and play a clean game, you never know, but I am going to stick with the Wembley Stallions, but I think it'll be a closer game than last time. Chris?
I don't know if Chris is actually with us tonight. I haven't seen him commenting. And I really hope he is, because you almost stole my thunder. I'm going to pick the Saints. I'm going to back the Oxford Saints to win. So this one's for you, Chris. So do me proud. It's been a difficult year for them. There's no doubt about that. But, we're seeing that with a lot of teams. And I think they'll be able to take a lot of positives from this year as well, and some of the stuff they've done. Wembley have, I don't want to say they've been a surprise. They haven't been, but they've maybe that first win against the Cheetahs at the start of the season was kind of a, oh wow, I didn't expect that. They've looked really good. I am going to put it down to the added factor of, maybe they're feeling a little bit despondent after last week. And I'm going to side with the Saints. I'm going to do it for Chris, and hopefully they do me proud.
I think you're right. I think if Wembley don't show up willing for this one, then it could. You never know. Next one, however, probably isn't in much doubt. Chris, I'll let you go first in this one.
Yeah, Solent Thrashers by a chunk.
Yeah, I think for everything that's gone on in that division, Bournemouth are potentially the second best team in that division now, and I think Solent, even though it's away, they'll want to go out there and end their perfect season on a high and try and get as much recruitment and things done before they start a really difficult Premiership South division next year. But Solent comfortably here. Simon?
Yeah, same for me, Solent. I know that they've recruited really well, and they've got a really strong team. So yeah, it's got to be there for me.
Yeah. Next game, do we call it the Lincoln Bowl, or I try to think what we could call it, but South Lincolnshire Lightning versus the Lincolnshire Bombers. Simon, you can go first on this one.
Team on the left.
To be fair, it could be. I honestly don't know who's going to win this. South Lincolnshire Lightning actually surprised me when they won a game early in the season. I can't remember who it was against, but they won a game that I didn't expect them to win. Then they pulled out of the one the week afterwards, which is weird. But Lincolnshire Bombers have struggled big time this year. I think it's a lot to do with other teams around them, but they really need to rebuild their group ready to go for 2022. Because to me, they've taken a big step back this year, and it's really a shame to see. But I'm gonna pick Lincolnshire Bombers to win this one, finish the season on a high, and go from there. Chris?
Yeah, interestingly, if you combine these two teams' names, you get the Lincolnshire Bombers. So, yeah, it's been extremely difficult for the Bombers. The Lightning have kind of had their ups and downs, what you'd almost expect from a rookie outfit. The Bombers won their last game out, which I believe I'd picked against them. We were probably on the banned list still at that point, but they did get the win. I think they're going to win again this week. I think they've maybe fixed a few things. I don't think it's going to be a terribly high-scoring affair. I don't think it's going to be, a big score in any sense. But I think the Bombers will squeak it.
Yeah, it's just Jimmy saying the Lightning beat Alphas. It was the Alphas to beat 7-0. I actually thought that was a bit of a surprise result that week, and then they pulled it the next week against the Alphas, which was so bloody weird. Next one. Speaking of banned list, Chris, are Torby still on your banned list?
It was just, but it was purely just because they didn't want Lightning to strike twice. No, Torby were off my banned lists several weeks ago, but they're still not getting picked. Obviously we spoke about I'm going to do an end of season review on my pre-season predictions for all the teams. And Torby are going to be in one of those holy mother of God, did I get this one wrong category, because I had them as a potential 8-0 team, and now I see nothing but 0-8 on their horizon. It couldn't have been more wrong. It's difficult. I mean, by all reports, they've got a good group of rookies. They've got a nice, strong group of young guys or like fresh guys into the game, which is good. The Monarchs has been bizarre. They started the season so well and they're looking good, and then they got beat by the Apache, and it just seemed to totally destroy the team. They were well beaten by them, and then they were well beaten by them again, and then they lost to the Wyverns, and I can't really put my finger on it, but Yeah, I mean, they'll bounce back with a win this weekend. They'll probably put up 50 points and feel great about themselves. But, that's what it should be for this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it probably should be. Cornwall should have too much for Torby here. If Torby are the way we've heard they are, and people have told us that, then they're getting to a point where they now have to, from now until April next year, they need to keep the group of guys they've got, get some more guys in, and really push for their squad to improve before next season. So Cornwall for me. Simon?
Yeah, it's Cornwall for me as well. So.
Yeah, you'll be pleased to hear, Simon. It's the last game here.
Hey.
Swindon Storm versus Birmingham Bulls. I'll let you go first on this one. Who do you
I'm
think
going
this one?
I'm going to go with Birmingham. I think I haven't heard much about them for a while, but they always used to be quite a strong team, strong outfit, and they did really well. I don't really know much about Swindon, other than one of my old coaches went there for a little bit and came back when he moved out of London, and then he came back. That was it.
Yeah, Chris.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the Bulls had a really good game with Leicester last week. I mean, it's one of those sort of score lines that we almost looked up and went, fair play. That's a good game for the Bulls. Sounds weird saying that about a loss, but given that you're talking about the Bulls still being in Division 2, and the Falcons coming down from the Premier Division, much like what I've said about the Blitz B, I don't want to see the Bulls in Division 2. They're a Division 1 team, right? We've played them, we've seen them play. They're a Division 1 team. We spoke about Swindon. They put up big scores against the weaker opposition, and then we've lost them. And then they put up, nothing on the stronger teams. And I think you're just going to see that again. I think the Bulls win by a big margin.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's coming back. I think you're right. I think the Bulls here are the better team. I think they are the bridge. I think they really should be a Division 1 team. It was in what we learned this week. I think they go out and they put up a serious number on Swindon to end their season, and again try and recruit players for next year. With Sandwell struggling so much, Birmingham put up a much better fight against Leicester than Sandwell did. And I know they're not Birmingham. They are Birmingham. Birmingham's bloody massive. They're all Birmingham. So I think it will be good to see them finish their season high. Bulls for the win here. Great club. Lots of good guys. Play really well. Leicester was a big game for them. Yeah, we've played them before. Really good group. So yeah, we'll see how they go. Look at this. It's empty. It's empty. No cancelled game this week. However, before we go as normal, last week of Game Day Live. So this is the last week of it this season. Obviously with the fixtures really dropping after this week. We will do another show next week, but it might be different format to what it has been. But Game Day Live is on their last show tomorrow. So if you're at the games, hashtag Game Day Live to your scores on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, Instagram. And if you want to, if you're at a game, send Steve a message on Game Day Live. He'll get you in to do a little bit of a report from live from the field. And it's all a bit of a good laugh. So join him, and I think Oz is with him tomorrow as well. So and see what they say for the last game of the season. So all that's left to do is once again thanks to our guest Simon tonight for coming on. Thank you very much, Simon.
No, thank you for having me.
I hope your game tomorrow goes really well, and I hope your preparation for 2022 goes the way you want it, and we'll hopefully speak to you again at some point in the near future.
Cool, awesome, thank you.
Other than that, we will catch everyone later, and again we will see you next week, but probably for a slightly different show. So catch you later, guys. See you soon.